अच्छा ठीक है, इसमें व्हाट्सएप पे करो, ठीक है ठीक है।
Hi, good morning, everyone.
गुड मॉर्निंग परम।
Wait for another 2 minutes.
हम्म। Yeah, this chat is for all, right? For all the customers also, right?
No, it's for us only. It's our personal.
And for customers?
Customers, there is no Q&A option. So
Can you put that up? Now that you're a producer.
let me check.
Jay, can we see who all have joined so far?
Nobody. It's only us.
No, I can see 39 attendees.
So the attendee list can be retrieved after the session ends. And sir, Q&A cannot be put up because that had to be done before the live event started. Like in the invite section itself, it's there. Now it's not possible. So we can just give them an email ID. If they have any questions, they can like post it on mail it to us, and we can respond it to them then.
Okay, but can the content be seen by others right now?
Yes, the content is live now, and they are able to see on the screen, and you guys can start actually.
So there are 39 attendees. Can everyone hear us right now?
Yes, they can actually hear you.
Okay, let's jump in then, Kiran.
Yes, Param. So Himanshu, you want to start off with the
So I just wanted to see if everybody should. It's 11:36. Maybe give one more minute for people to join in, and then we get started. So let's start at 11:37.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. All right. So 11:38. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this webinar that we're conducting in conjunction with Microsoft. I know it's a very difficult situation for all of us. And never ever, I think, since 1975, 77, we expected something like this to happen to our lives, right? So, we both Microsoft and Softline are committed to ensuring BCP in this situation, and we are trying to help our customers in the best possible way offering our services, offering our solutions. We've come up with a lot of packages that we could, work with all our customers. And one small effort to, towards it is to, let our people know that what we can now do maybe to get you back on the feet, to get your employees being there at their productive best. And today on this webinar, we're just trying to educate our customers to understand what Windows Virtual Desktop can do in this lockdown period, so that your work and your productivity is not affected, and we all are optimally performing. In this webinar, I will be moderating the entire session. My name is Himanshu, and I head marketing for Softline APAC. And today on this panel, we have Parampreet Baveja, who's the solution specialist at the Microsoft side. And then we also have Kiran Babu, who is the services lead on our Softline side. So I will not delay it further. It's already 9 past the scheduled start time. We will be taking the Q&A at the end, and I would request you all to go on mute unless you have some comments to make in between. But I know the best way would be to let the presenter finish and then move on to the questions before the next presentation ends. And we'll also take Q&A at the end, and appreciate your participation today. Parampreet, I will move the presentation back to you now. So go for it.
Thanks, Himanshu. Good morning, everyone. I'm Parampreet. I'm a specialist for Azure at Microsoft. I'll spend the next 15 minutes giving you an overview of what Windows Virtual Desktop is and how this can be beneficial for your respective industry scenarios. So all of you are aware that virtualization in one way or the other helps company that address specific business needs. So these are some of the virtualization scenarios across different set of industries or workforce organization types. So Windows Virtual Desktop is a virtualization solution which provides more secure access to your data and organizational resources. It provides you a complete compliance with industry regulations, for example, FSI, healthcare, government, and increasingly elastic workforce. For example, I mean, most of the organizations are nowadays allowing short-term employees, contractor employees, partner access to their internal workloads. So it's actually a great solution to address your organizational application access to that elastic workforce. It also takes care of employee-specific needs, for example, BYOD or mobile staff, call centers, branch workers. All of these are in one form or the other part of the overall organizational scenarios nowadays across industries. And specifically talking about specialized workloads, for example, design, engineering teams, your legacy applications, your software development and testing, applications, so that they can be easily migrated across and run on virtualized environments. So Windows Virtual Desktop actually helps employees stay as productive with a virtualized experience as they would have been on a PC or a phone or a tablet or a browser, while they are actually doing a physical work on a PC sitting right in front of them. So it actually allows you to simplify management, your provisioning, and access to corporate data and applications. And you can actually support customers as they migrate to the cloud. So it also another great aspect of this, and we'll have Kiran talk about that later also, that it actually helps you reduce the costs and resources associated with managing your on-premises infrastructure, and actually empowers your IT to transform the workplace in a way which is much required in the current scenario where business continuity has become the foremost priority of most IT and infrastructure heads and CIOs over the next 2 to 3 months. What we are looking at, best case scenario with the current COVID-19 situation going on. So Windows Virtual Desktop is generally available worldwide across all the major data center locations where we are hosted on Azure. Windows 10 and Office 365, while they are kept up to date with cloud connected management, powered by configuration manager and Intune kind of applications. So WVD provides the most productive and most secure computing experience for users while lowering your TCO and reducing complexity for your IT teams. It is actually designed for customer types across all segments. Microsoft 365 is M365 is the best way to access and license the products and services necessary to experience the WVD experience. Let's look at each of these benefits, starting with productivity. What does it means, and to have a most productive experience using WVD. So Windows Virtual Desktop is the only solution through which you can actually deliver a multi-session Windows 10 experience. So you can actually provide a multi-session Windows 10 experience or a single session experience to all your employees. You can actually store and legacy application, you can have a remote access given to all of those applications. And a good thing and a real critical aspect now also is that Windows Virtual Desktop is also the only way in which you can actually provide a Windows 7 extended security updates to all your employees. Windows 7 is already end of support. So all your applications, if there are client OS devices which are actually running on Windows 7 client OS, Windows Virtual Desktop acts as a great solution to move you those applications to a WVD setup. And Microsoft provides you 3 years extended security updates for those for the Windows 7 OS. Windows Virtual Desktop also allows you to enable optimizations for your Office 365 Pro Plus experience with multi-session virtual scenarios applicable for most of your users who have Office 365 Pro Plus with you. It actually allows you to make your office more performant in a multi-session environment, including Outlook, OneDrive for Business, SharePoint, and other applications which you use as a part of your Office 365 experience. If you have existing RDS setup built on Windows environment or Windows servers in your own setup, so WVD actually provides you a solution to migrate your remote desktop environment on your Windows Server 2012 or 2012 R2 and newer OSs to Azure on a WVD setup. It actually provides you 100% application compatibility for existing Windows Server images, which are currently being used on premise. So you can actually extend that environment into a WVD environment and utilize that to scale up in this current lockdown situation. Last but not the least is as a benefit is that it actually helps in Windows Virtual Desktop. It's a pay-as-you-go Azure offering, and you can utilize it to quickly virtualize and deploy your modern as well as legacy desktop applications within minutes with a unified management on the Azure portal. Azure, as you know, has data centers across 54 regions, across 140 countries. So you can address your customer scenarios who you are servicing from the data center location nearest to your use cases. It actually, Azure Management Portal provides a complete single pane view for managing everything and all your applications through the WVD setup. It has built-in security and compliance updates, which are actually extended from Azure as a cloud platform. And I'll talk about the partner ecosystem extensibility and Softline being here on the call. I'll have Kiran talk more about how Softline is helping you and our customers in deploying and managing the Windows Virtual Desktop scenarios in the current time when everyone is looking at an urgent or an urgency in terms of a remote work from home kind of a setup enabled. Most of the customers, I'll speak about how about the licensing piece now. So most of the customers are actually eligible to access Windows 10 single and multi-session environments and Windows 7 with Windows Virtual Desktop if you have either of these licenses, which I'm showing on the screen right now. M365 E3, E5, M365 A3 for the education segment, F1, M365 for business, Windows 10 Enterprise E3 or E5, Windows 10 Education A3 or A5, or Windows 10 VDA per user. And while we do a ROI and a TCO comparison and we talk about your use case, we'll specifically have our partners talk about the licensing scenarios in depth. On the server side of things, when we talk about the RDS migration. So customers are eligible to access server workloads with on WVD if you have a RDS CAL license with active software assurance. A very good thing and an important aspect which is very critical is that this is a pay-as-you-go offering. You pay only for the virtual machines, the storage and networking which are consumed when the users are using the service. So this is very different from say a legacy type RDS deployment or maybe a on-premise Citrix deployment where you would have to pay for the complete infrastructure at a capex model and then do the overall deployment in a way which is completely for designed for a peak workload kind of scenario. And also you are aware of reserved instances as a solution available for Windows for Azure infrastructure. You can actually take advantage of 1-year RI and 3-year RI or reserved instances. You reserve your virtual machine instances and save up to 72% versus a pay-as-you-go pricing on Azure. And this is a critical, I will say, differentiating factor as well as a value addition which Softline and Microsoft as partners will bring into while we optimize your overall BOQ for the WVD setup. Now you might have a question that I already have a Citrix WVD deployment available worldwide. How do I actually extend that across to provide a work from home kind of a scenario? It's perfectly simple. Microsoft has a lockstep partnership with Citrix globally, and where we are actually delivering enterprise scale unified experience for our Windows Virtual Desktop on the Citrix applications. We are providing through Citrix a hybrid cloud support. A complete enterprise management and monitoring is available for Windows Virtual Desktop, where you can actually monitor your Citrix-based implementations. There is a simplified image management, which means you'll spend less time on updates and application maintenance through WVD's access and partnership with Citrix. It also leads to an optimized workspace environment for you and actually gives you a performance which is unmatched, utilizing Citrix capabilities and Azure's incumbent security as well as scalability capabilities. Similar is the case for VMware also. VMware Horizon Cloud is now available on Microsoft Azure. We are extending WVD capabilities to Horizon Cloud. Key value adds being that you are being provided a complete hybrid support, a simplified management through a single pane of glass, and user environment management, and support for multiple protocols. This is already gone live in while we are speaking right now. Coming to the partner ecosystem, you can see Softline over there. Softline is one of our India partners who is very actively working and partnering along with Microsoft for Windows Virtual Desktop ecosystem implementations. If you see the second column here, we have a huge set of ISV partners who are also value-added partners which can actually which are available on our marketplace, and you can utilize them specifically for cost management, for infrastructure management. And Softline, while doing the implementation, will take into consideration the best possible marketplace options which are available for you for giving you the best possible administration as well as manageability experience to manage your WVD workloads. Last piece, if you see, is another important aspect, because quite a few customers nowadays are also thinking that if I can enable work from home, but then I don't want to invest in laptops. What is the other option which I have? Now companies, we have tie-up with Samsung as well as IGEL from Microsoft's front, who and we can have dumb devices or dumb terminals made available to you through partnerships. And Softline in itself as an organization would have tie-ups with a lot of other hardware vendors to provide you with end terminals which are actually very cheap on pricing compared to a complete laptop or desktop investment. Hence that partnership will help you get an experience on to an end-to-end solution for you to be enable your work from home environment at your office setup or BPO environments or your manufacturing setup or wherever you want to as an organization. I would take a pause here, and I would actually pass on the baton to Chinmay, who would actually show you a demo on how a Windows Virtual Desktop can be deployed real time on Azure, and how easy it is to manage the user, to control the user experience from there. We'll spend around 10 minutes on that piece. Thank you. Chinmay, over to you. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Paramprit, for the information. Like, so I will be quickly sharing my screen and will walk you through the architecture for this.
Chinmay, quickly, if you could introduce yourself.
Sure. Yeah. So in Softline, like I look after the Azure solutions, like cloud infrastructure solutions, and also the POCs for the VDI has been looked by me over here. Okay, so moving over the architecture, basically let's move to the older one of the RDS system. How we used to have is, if you some of guys have worked over the VDI solution, how it used to work in the infrastructure. Like we used to have a gateway server, we used to have a broker server, then web access server, and then we used to have the session host servers to enable the theme clients and to have end user to connect to the session host. But now all these roles like web access role, the gateway role, and the broker role, whatever the server's infrastructure, will be taken care by Microsoft itself. Okay, we just need to spin up a host pool, and we just need to look after our applications need to be pushed. So all this maintaining of infrastructure and everything now goes away from this part, and directly we can focus over the desktops and the application which we need to publish to the end users. Okay, so I will just move quickly to the architecture of this VDI, how it exactly works. Definitely we will be having an AD server, so it can be over the on-premises or it can be over the cloud. So our AD server will be getting connected to our Azure Active Directory. Okay, and using AD Connect Sync, we will be syncing our all the users to the Active Directory. Okay, and all the licensing part and everything can be taken care in the Office 365 admin portal. Okay, whenever I create an host pool, it has to be registered with Azure AD, so that all the users can directly access the host pool and log in with their username, password, whatever they are. Okay, and also here in the this piece of host pool, we can also maintain user profiles, and definitely we can use various format to have this user profile, and one of them is like file storage of Azure, where I can store user profiles and everything. And we will be having a dedicated network which will be connected to our on-prem AD or the cloud AD, so that whenever a host pool or the machine comes up over there, joins our local AD, and all the group policies and everything, I can get it over there, right? So that this machine becomes an internal part of my infrastructure, and then I can directly access my web applications or internal website or whatever it is. I can access it directly through my this host pools or the clients, VDI clients, which will be connecting to. So I will be just moving to Azure portal right away. So the first thing what we do while creating this solution is, we need to tell our Azure tenant that I need to have I need to host this VDI solution, Azure solutions over there, and I can do that. The first thing is to verify the domain in your Azure Active Directory. This should be there to have all the functionality seamlessly working. Okay, so this is the first thing. Second thing is to register our application, the VDI solution, with our Azure AD. As I said, in the architecture, we need to register our host pool with this Azure Active Directory, right? So that we can do it, and it's a very simple step. We just need to go to this URL, and we can able to just accept the page over there, and we will be able to get that. So we just need to add our tenant resource ID over here and just submit, and automatically it gets registered with our Azure AD, and we can definitely go ahead for the other steps to implement this. So I will just walk you through like how and what are the parameters what we create over here. So yeah, these are the basic things what we provide while creating this host pool, and definitely we will be selecting as Parampreet said, we have a multiple data centers we can select as per our choice. We can also provide a host pool name over here, and this is the main functionality over here, like pooled or a personal. So pooled and a personal have two different things to be worked, like uh, pooled pooled host pool be like any users comes, the available resource will be getting allocated. But when it comes to the personal, we can dedicate a system, or this host pool should be allocated to this user, that we can also mention it over here while creating the host pool. So the same way how we used to work earlier in the RDS session host, how we used to create a pool of the session host and do the same way we can do it over here while creating things of host pool in Azure portal. So also these usage profiles plays a main role, and how we can calculate is like I can just show you quickly a chart how we can plan it out. So this is a chart, like if the usage of an users becomes be a light version, so we a maximum per user per CPU can have 6. If the usage of a user becomes an heavy, then we can plan it out according to that. So this table can help you out to understand like which pool type I need to go ahead with, light, medium, or something. And according to that, if you check the virtual machine size over the instance count again changes over here once I make it, like if there are 100 to 100 users connecting to my host pool, automatically it calculates that yes, we will be needing this 7 instances, and with the multi-session mode I can enable this. Okay. Okay, coming to the image source, that I can definitely have a pre image from Azure itself, from its gallery, Windows Enterprise 10, Windows 10 Enterprise multi-session. I can also have a Windows 10 Enterprise multi-session with Office 365 Pro Plus. As Parampreet mentioned earlier, that we can also enable this part in our host pool. Then definitely we will be using this. And also, if I have some application or I have an image of my own Windows 10 or of Windows 2016, I can create that image and I can definitely use that image. Once I keep it in Azure storage, I can just provide the image name and the group name, and I can also provide the storage URL of that image, and I can use this. Okay. This is the disk type. These are the information where I will be using this to connect a machine to an AD. As I said, machine should be getting connected to our AD server. I have to provide the username, password, which we'll be using. I can also provide the domain name and everything over here. The virtual network details I need to provide over here. So these are very basic things I need to provide, and quickly within a minute I can say
Chinmay, just a step back when you said just for the larger audience to understand. So what the information what you previously provided, the Windows Virtual Desktop information, that is pertaining to the actual Active Directory namespaces in terms of probably an Active Directory domain name or a host name, something on those lines, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, and this can be, I mean, this is something which has to be published from your Active Directory as a NetBIOS name, which gets published onto your Azure WED part.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
I will be showing that
Okay.
once I go to the part of the AD and everything.
Okay.
So yeah, and once I fill up this information, definitely within a minute, like it hardly takes 30 minutes, and everything has been created over there. So I will just quickly go to our AD server, and then we can.
So Chinmay, you may want to just show how an end user experience is right now, and then probably switch over to how that actual code
Yes,
looks like,
yes,
so that
yes, sure,
so
sure.
that we can give a view in terms of how a user experience is
Correct,
for a
correct,
normal end user, and probably what an IT has to do is something what you cover as a second point.
correct. Sure. So to an end user to connect, we have multiple options. A web browser can be used, or a remote app, what we call it is there. Directly we can install this. It is a very small package. We can install it into the machine of end user who is working from their home or whatever it is. We can just install this tool, and we just need to use the same Office 365 IDs which we have already we have. We can just use that, and I will just show you like how it is.
So Chinmay, what essentially you're doing is you have actually integrated Active Directory with Azure, with
Exactly.
Office 365 using an Azure AD Connect for
Correct.
users who are using M365 as in E3 is the scenario, right?
Correct. Yeah. So see, like this for this user, I have given whole host access, whole desktop access. So directly once he logged in, he can have an access of this machine, and again he can start, using his application or whatever it is in a control environment. So I will quickly log into this machine. So this is how I will be getting my machines and everything over here, with Office Pro Plus. As we selected image in the Pro Plus, I will be having this also. And I can also check that the machines are in its AD over there. So this, sorry, the domain itself it is. So that the machine gets all the group policies, whatever are there, we have posted over there. So this is how the experience will be for the end user. In some control environment, we need that the end user shouldn't have an full access over a machine, but to an application, to a certain application, he should have an access. So that also we can do it. I will just show you. So definitely I can create multiple app groups according to the user, according to the domains. Like if I have a domain of HR, if I have an accounting team, I can allocate a separate applications to them. I can have a common applications for them. All that can be done using app groups, and we have a PowerShell commands for that. And it is very straightforward thing, just 2 3 commands, and we can handle it out. So for this user, we have just given, access to the disk cleanup and the Word. So he will be only able to see those applications which we have given a permission to this user. And that definitely we can do using, PowerShell scripts over there, PowerShell commands over there. There are very few commands, and within a 5 6 minutes we will be able to provide an user access to an application, and we will be able to even publish an application within a minute using the PowerShells and everything. And also we have a web access client where I can directly go into the browser, and I can, able to use the same web interface for the accessing of this machine.
So this both application as well as desktop virtualization option, Chinmay, is really great. and actually is a great use case for quite a few of our customers outside who they just want to say give only say for example an SAP application access to some of their people, for example.
Correct. Yeah. So say this is the way how we can get into the web browser access and the same application and everything I would be able to see, and I can just connect to the machine over here. So both the ways are definitely useful for the end customer for handling this VDI clients and everything. And it is very straightforward and very less command to be run over the PowerShell part, and definitely within minutes we can do it over there. So Kiran sir,
Yeah, Chinmay, thanks.
yeah, you can just go ahead with this.
So while Kiran loads his presentation, any questions for both Param and Chinmay right now? We can take a couple of questions right now. You can unmute yourself and quickly ask a question.
So Himanshu, we will be posting a QR code for the people who can ask the question through that. Okay, so since it's a live session, they won't be able to ask any questions to us right now.
So it's more of an one-way right now. So the last step we have put up the Q&A for barcode where they can scan and it can get published live onto this.
Okay, so I'll be saying there's no voice on the questions?
No, not right now.
Okay. Okay, then Kiran, you can move the cursor.
Yeah. Okay. So so I'm audible, right?
Loud and clear.
Himanshu? Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So so given to the current situation of COVID-19 being there, I mean, in last 2 or 3 weeks is when we've seen a lot of customers who have come up with the request either of an option to work from home, probably helping their customers, helping their employees to be more productive in terms of either being available on calls or ensuring their applications are running up and running from their home or residence network. So we at Softline have been quite engaged with a lot of customers. I mean, we've been doing a lot of POCs as well as rolling out the WVD as well as the Teams as a platform to many set of our customers. So just yesterday we conducted a live meeting for one of a big conglomerate from a media industry where 2,000 odd people were actually doing live streaming of their CEO for doing a all hands call or a town hall kind of a meeting. A few of my pharma, a few of our manufacturing customers and BFSI customer had come up with a request because of a sudden lockdown situation where they wanted to have the business app running in a secure manner, and they also wanted to see that, okay, my entire application is up and running from a home residence, or for the customers who are, for my employees who are actually been continuously working from their home. So in terms of, as we know that Azure has been quite a lot of buzzword around couple of years, and we at Softline along with Microsoft have been working in a lot of transformation use cases across manufacturing, across BFSI, across IT. So few of the things what we have listed out is in terms of SAP on DR being on Azure, doing some integration service with IoT for doing a predictive health maintenance for heavy machineries. Bot services has been one of the buzzword around where we have put a lot of use cases surrounding service disintegration or probably agent FAQ systems. One of our BFSI customers has also been integrating their Fitbit for getting their claim approvals done. So what essentially it means is that a few of the end clients who are actually leveraging their claim policies has to ensure that they have the number of steps being covered in one particular day, and basis with they get their points, and during the renewal they get some kind of an discounting per se. So these have been a lot of use cases what we have working through for past few years, and considering how we evolved in terms of helping customers during a BCP or a disaster scenario like of a COVID-19 kind of scenario. So a lot of customers who have come up is in terms of the first and foremost is asking that, okay, my entire business is running on SAP, but I need to ensure my data is secured, my applications are available to my users to work and ensure my business operations are up and running. So we have 2-3 odd customers who have actually deployed WVD and running on production right now, scaling from 150 to 550 odd users. So various use cases around them was in terms of publishing their SAP client on a Windows 10 platform on Azure, where the end users or the employees are logging on to the WVD services using either their personal laptops or probably an iPad, and ensuring that entire business operations are running through. A lot of file servers or probably proprietary information, probably in terms of pharma organization where they have a lot of proprietary and R&D work which has to be done. So ensuring the security is being one of the key aspects is where we have helped customers to actually transform and actually help them leverage WVD. And bear in mind, this has been done in last 2 weeks time. So 3 of our customers have actually gone live with the WVD scenario where they have published these kind of applications on Azure in a secure as well as and more of a quicker TAT per se. And one of our BFSI customer also wanted to have all their insurance, life insurance agent calling system is also now running out of cloud, where they have published their entire desktop services onto them. And whereas the agents are either working from their home or probably in a offsite region where they are actually connecting to the Azure services to help them run their entire business operation. So the spinning of the VM, so as Chinmay rightly showed in his demo, so entire production, entire application publishing or a Windows desktop being rolled out is being done like in 48 to 72 hours of time, depending upon the volume of machines they're looking for. So we have been instrumental in helping customers to actually ensure they are highly productive in terms of the work from home scenarios without impacting any of the business operations per se. And WVD has been one of the key drivers for these customers along with Microsoft for us to help through. Outside, beyond the BCP aspects, if customer is also looking for in terms of probably a Windows 7 end of life, which needs to be extended for some period of time, which is something which Microsoft Azure and WVD actually has a good play to it. If there are customers who want to still use Windows 7 for certain legacy applications to be running on their business operation, this is something which can definitely be looked through. And obviously the scalability part is one of the key aspect, because one fine day when government calls out its lockdown situation, so the entire setting up the entire infrastructure over a cloud is more scalable and has a more quicker TAT per se. So these are one of the few use cases what we have actually been using Azure services. In terms of what Softline can help you and how Softline can guide you as an organization will help is that first and foremost, if there is a business case and where you feel that business application has to be published, we can probably do a POC for you for a limited set of people. That is probably use cases, identify certain users, identify certain business application which can be published onto WVD. We can help you do some POC remotely and give you a proper flow in terms of how this entire operation will work, as Chinmay had earlier showed. So we can help you the entire documentation as well as the entire SOP per se to see that, okay, this is how my business will run. And obviously helping you identify business apps and certain business processes which can be actually being used to run onto the WVD platform or a VDI platform. So, now, another interesting offer is in terms of, I'm not sure how many of you have actually started leveraging Teams per se. For customers or probably endpoints who are not leveraging Teams, we can extend a 6-month trial of E1 license with Teams for all of your employees, where they can actually start communicating, doing meetings, sharing and collaboration, doing audio calls or doing audio conferencing, ensuring that entire communication channel is open. because of late it is mandatory to have actually a proper communication channel being in place. So if something of those things you are looking forward for, yes, we from Softline are ready to offer to this. You can drop us a note in the below email ID at email addresses, and we'll be more than happy to assist you with ensuring your business operations are up and running. uh, for quick insights on Softline India for who doesn't know what Softline is into. So we are 5+ years of operations in India. We are globally a $1.6 billion organization with 1,000+ employees across the globe on a technical front. We have a presence across all the metros from Gurgaon, Noida, Calcutta, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Bangalore, and Kochi, Pune. We also recently started off our GDC, that is our Global Delivery Center out of Noida, which is basically our 24/7 managed services for Azure as a platform, where we have a set of people who run the entire show for the customers in terms of running the entire IT managed services for the customers onto Azure. Uh, that's it from my side. This is just a quick FAQ and a feedback session. What we look forward for. We can take a break for. We can have a 10-minute FAQ session. So you can just scan this barcode and post your queries, and probably we can take it up for next 10 or 15 minutes for you to address your queries. Yeah, Himanshu, that's it from my side.
Okay, so Kiran, thanks. Jake, if people scan the QR code and post the questions, you will be able to read them out for us.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll give a few minutes before people can do that. Okay. So we'll just pause for a little while. In the meantime, I mean, I just had a quick query myself, Param, Kiran, and Chinmay. So this has to be based on Azure, is it? If someone has a different cloud in a subscription, can this be deployed on top of that, or this needs to be on Azure?
So Himanshu, this is more as an offering from Azure, because it's the overall platform of Windows running on the Azure as a platform is something which is exclusive to Azure only. There are
I'll add
other.
on to that, Kiran, one point which I wanted to add. So we have use cases where people are, say, hosting their core application on AWS or for matter on their cloud. But then the users, they are, say, for example, accessing their application through central desktop setups at their workplaces. So for those users, we have enabled WVD setups, say from that central location itself. Say, for example, if their application for AWS was hosted in the US, we chose a data center close to the US, hosted a WVD setup on that data center, and have RDP sessions enabled for those users from that data center, so that they can work from home and still access, through a VPN connectivity, can access the other cloud application which is hosted on the other cloud.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah.
Jay, you have any questions getting posted?
No, Kiran, currently we don't have any questions. We'll wait for 5 minutes more to see if there are any questions coming up, because they might need time to fill it up.
Okay.
Kiran, how about we give some rewards for a question?
I think we should First question, we have a one POC free in which way. On an immediate basis. Today itself, we'll have a POC done.
And from my side, from marketing, how about we do some Amazon or or our Flipkart or some of those vouchers.
Vouchers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. E-vouchers.
So I'll let you guys decide what should be the criteria, and I can try and get some budgets from my side to ensure we reward definitely some of the key questions that we get.
Yeah, definitely that works.
And if there are any Softline guys and Microsoft guys, you guys are excluded, so don't even attend.
So Kiran, we have one question. So the question is, how is Windows Virtual PC different from WVD?
Windows Virtual PC
different from WVD.
Okay, so Parab, you want to pick that up?
Yeah, sorry, I was speaking on mute.
So we have a question in terms of it. Yeah, it had a question in terms of how Windows Virtual PC is different from WVD.
So Windows Virtual PC is something which is available, for an on-premises setup. It actually was released way back, in I think in the last decade, somewhere around 2010 timeframe, where it actually released the Windows version of this as a free product. So it is not. So Windows Virtual Desktop, however, is a cloud-based pay-as-you-go offering, and it is available for enabling users access the remote desktop scenarios based anywhere across, from their homes, from their office spaces, and it is actually completely scalable. It's a pay-as-you-go offering. It can you can use that and close that in in 1 or 2 months time frame if it is not working for you guys. However, compared to that, Windows Virtual PC was a virtual program for Microsoft Windows, which was announced, and it actually didn't run on any Windows version before Windows 7. And it is a completely on-premises setup, and it's not a very ideal scenario for it's like it's very compatible to any other on-premises virtualization setup compared to WVD, which is more on a cloud pay-as-you-go, auto-scalable kind of an offering.
Thanks, Param, for answering the question. So we have another question which says, for Windows Virtual Desktop, does customer need to have on-premise AD?
So that is something. So typically, with the current scenario, what has happened is you can always have a multi-platform or a hybrid kind of an environment. Considering that it has to be tightly integrated with the Microsoft Office 365 platform per se, yes, you can actually extend your Active Directory onto Azure as a one instance, and then have your Office 365 integrated with them.
So actually, just to answer that again, I mean, just an add-on to that. So Active Directory on Windows Virtual Desktop is something which you can compare to how you want to configure an Active Directory on any other public cloud platform. So it actually can integrate, you can actually extend any of your on-premises LDAP or other scenarios to Active Directory on Azure and integrate it along with your WVD setup. Or as Kiran said, that you can utilize, if you are using Office 365, you can have Azure Active Directory act as an authentication mechanism to provide role-based access control for your WVD users.
Yeah, Parag, thanks.
For now, I have received these questions only. We'll give few more minutes for them to.
Yeah, we
there are
still have
more
two.
questions.
We still have 2 minutes to go for the top of the hour, so we're okay. But Jay, I'm hoping you're capturing the names and the details of these customers who have asked
Yes,
this
Post the
question.
event exit, we will have that entire.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So Jay, we know, right, who has asked the question. So probably if at all we want to do some POC for these customers and Himanshu or the big per se, yeah, we can pick that up.
Yeah, we can do that. So we have another question. Like the person asks, if after few months, if I want to come out from this, what about the data in the WVD? How can I take it back?
Okay, so the question is, if they're running the WVD onto Azure as a platform, how about they want to bring the data back, right?
So I will.
Yeah, please do.
So yeah, definitely some files will be created by users over there, but we no need to worry about that. That will be definitely saved in our Azure file storage, because the profiling for the users will be done over there, and all the files created by user will be saved over there. Okay, and definitely anyhow like at any point of time we can definitely have them back over our on-premises server or wherever we need, that we can definitely have from the Azure storage itself.
So the people did not worry about the data getting blocked at Azure. You can feel free to move the data between Azure on-premise, Azure.
So the next question over here is, how can we troubleshoot on WVD resource issue?
How do we troubleshoot on WVD?
So like this will be depending upon the scenario, like where exactly the issue is coming. If it is publishing application or something having an permissions over the application, then definitely the host pool is the one where we will be hitting some PowerShell commands and working on that and troubleshooting the issue over there. If it is something from the AD join perspective of machine or group policies, then definitely from our AD server, the domain where it is. So it depends upon the scenario, like what exactly the type of issue is, but definitely moreover WVD, it will be the host pool working on that, troubleshooting over there, the issue.
Does anybody like Param? Do you want to add anything to that?
I mean, I just want to give a comfort that this is again like any other Azure offering or Microsoft offering. There is a complete support team who's available for the troubleshooting piece. Obviously, with Softline, you being the primary L1, L2 support for them, from a resource or an Azure or a Microsoft product standpoint, there is a complete support team with the formal severity based response time available to help with the quick closures. Plus, within because of the BCP scenarios, we also within Microsoft over the last 1 week, and it is going to continue for the next 2 to 3 months. There is a huge priority which has come in to enable and help our customers with all the emergency situations and product migration scenarios, like for Teams, for example, or for Windows Virtual Desktop. So there are specific action teams which are available for liaising with support teams to help elevate any customer challenges or implementation queries if we are facing from a troubleshooting standpoint for an expedited support.
So thanks, Params, for the insight. The next question we have is: do the company needs to procure any additional licenses for that?
So we spoke about the license fees as a part of one of the slides earlier. So while we do the evaluation, as of now, feel free to reach out to Softline team to understand and help them evaluate your overall license portfolio. There are licenses required from Windows OS standpoint, client OS standpoint, but then a lot of synergy comes in if you are already having say some versions of Office 365, and if you are not aware, so most of the quite a few versions also have Windows as a part of the overall Office 365 license SKUs which you have already bought. So let Softline team do that evaluation themselves. Don't worry right now. They will take care of the licensing requirement. Just reach out to them with what exactly is your use case, and they'll give a complete ROI analysis along with considerations on the licensing, what exactly are to be done, and they let you know.
Yeah, and the email ID that you can share, your queries or any questions is info.india@softline.com. It's info.india@softline.com.
So I'm just republishing that email ID.
So we have another question. The question says how virtual desktop of MS Azure is compared with Citrix in terms of lightweight access and security.
So in terms of Citrix, so Citrix is an added lever over a WDD platform altogether. So in terms of security, yes, Azure follows the entire stringent policies and the certifications which are already there from the Azure data center perspective. So what essentially Citrix gives you in terms of probably your management layer for you, and obviously we're helping out in terms of some third-party applications getting integrated within the Azure platform itself. And security is something which is as per the data centers and the certification which is already there within the Microsoft data centers.
Kiran, can you repeat the question for me, please, once?
So the question is how virtual desktop of MS Azure is compared with Citrix in terms of lightweight security and access.
Okay. So see, security consideration, as Kiran rightfully said, the complete Azure based security and access controls from Active Directory, which forms your single identity plane, actually extends across all the Microsoft cloud offerings. That acts as a single secure access control plane for you guys to either give or revoke any permission which you are wanting for any of your users. So that is a role-based security. And the other aspect which again Kiran highlighted, which I want to reiterate, is that all of our data centers over here are tier 5 data centers, and Microsoft takes specific consideration into the data security which is being either which is kept at rest and which is also uh, which is actually traversing between our different data centers through Microsoft secure networking lanes. So all of that is falls under completely audited security considerations, which are actually compliant to most of the VFSI as well as other industry-specific FedRAMP, FEDRA, HIPAA, other industry-specific compliances, which is specific to what your industries would be looking at while choosing a data center or a cloud provider, which is which can be auditable also. And there's a specific website, aka.ms-trust, which actually is one single source of truth for you guys to see all the certifications which are currently available on the compliance front.
So thanks, Kiran. Thanks, Param, for the insights. This was the last question that I received over here. Over to you guys for wrap up.
All right, Jay, if you have any more questions, you can send an email and we can respond them directly. We exactly 1 hour since we started. Kiran, you're about to say something. Do you
No,
have,
that's what I mean. Yeah, we can conclude. So, in terms of POCs and demos, yes, we are more than happy to conduct, build any type of use case or a business case scenario. We are there to help you. So, email IDs are the nihal.shindia@softline.com and info.india@softline.com. We'll be more than happy to work towards that.
Yeah, thanks, Kiran. So, as we close this out, and I hope everybody saw some value that we tried to do during this webinar today. I'm sure there are more questions and there are more queries that you all might have, and hence that info.india@softline.com will be the email address where you could send everything that you want to ask us. We are working. Microsoft is working, although the concept is home office. So but we are all working with whatever projects that we have in hand, and you will need answers. So we are available all throughout. With that, the last few things that I wanted to tell you is that we also have the recording of this webinar, which we can share individually and will not be posting it anywhere. So if you want to hear this all over again, we can definitely share the file with you guys. We plan to host another set of webinars, and we'll keep you informed, and we expect an equal number of participation from you all. With that, I thank you all for joining us today. On behalf of the of Softline team and Microsoft team, thank you very much for joining. Jay, we can now end the conference.
Yes, thank you all. Stay safe.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
When we are speaking, Vihan, you cannot create noise. I'm telling you, and you kept doing that.